Hello, my friends. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed those 15 minutes. I'm considering doing another 10 or 15 minutes again. But first, I will let you rest a little bit, and maybe you want to share your experiences or ask some questions. Thank you, Vidya. Namaste, my friend. So, as I said, I will be doing another about 10 minutes of additional Reiki healing with focus on the heart, opening and healing the heart, which I think is one of the most, if not the most essential part of our healing process. In my own life, I've noticed that after my heart began reawakening or awakening, whatever started happening to my heart, after that, things really just started flowing much more on its own, much more beautifully, and a lot more healing has taken place since then. So I want to give you a little bit more, but we'll wait a couple of maybe five or 10 minutes before we do another 10 minutes of Reiki healing with focus on the heart. It will be the Holy Fire 3 and Karuna Reiki and Usui Reiki symbols. Hello, Debasis, Jenna, thank you, namaste. Hello, Rose. Hello, Trees. Namaste to you too. I'm sorry if I pronounce your names incorrectly. It's a little bit difficult when there are names you haven't seen before. Yeah, so if you have any questions or if you want to share your experiences from the healing that we just had, then please do so. And if you want some more healing, then stay with me for 5 to 10 more minutes and we'll do another 10-minute healing, 10 minutes or so. And I want to add something. I really want to play music for you guys while doing the healing, but YouTube started to, well, not YouTube, I guess, but people started copyright claiming some of my videos because I have sound in the background. And yeah, I don't know how to solve that as of now. I think I have a couple of songs that I can play without getting them claimed. So I'll look into that more. But what I recommend that you do is that when I start the healing transmission and when you sit back and rest and just open yourself up to receive, then you can use your own music. You can perhaps you have a song or some ambient sounds that you like having in the background that helps you to stay calm and to turn inwards, and then you can play it yourself. Okay, Trees. Thank you. Thank you for confirming. So let's say that in 8 minutes at 10:30 my time, that's Eastern European time. I don't know where you are tuning in from, but now 7 minutes, we'll start another healing session that will last about 10 minutes or so. And it will focus on healing and opening the heart, helping you to center yourself in the present moment, in the center of your being, healing trauma, sadness, sorrow, developing or realizing very deep trust in yourself and in life, not just very deep, but absolute trust, so that you can move on with your life regardless of the circumstances, regardless of what is happening outside of you or even inside of you. You can have trust that is bringing you into a greater reality, a greater, more blissful and loving experience of life. also improve relationships. I guess everything is just everything about life stems from love. Love is that which binds us, but it's also the source of everything. And just as an example, just remember sometime when you were absolutely in love with another person, which we as humans usually are. Most people, I would say, fall in love with someone else. But maybe you fell in love with an object or something. I don't know. That's quite okay. I know some people do, so it's not to be laughed at, I guess. But just remember that when you were so in love, every obstacle becomes just a joyful challenge, or maybe just a trivial nuisance. It doesn't really matter that much, because when you are in love, everything just is the way it is. And it's the basis of healing. Love is really everything. So I want to give you a little bit more of that, hopefully, or not give you perhaps, but I want to help you to find that within yourself. Houston, Texas trees. Okay, that's very interesting. Wow, I've never been to the U.S. I really hope I get to visit the U.S. Someday. Then maybe I will come by Houston. Houston. So I guess that's the famous rocket launch, or space center is there somewhere. What comes to mind is just this: Houston, we have a problem. But as I think about it now, that's probably from a movie. Okay, let's put Houston on the shelf for now, and let's focus on the question from the bosses, Gina. Sir, how you get rid of irrational thought patterns, self-talks that you had created, but now it's kind of hurting you deep within. So that's a great question, and I cannot give you any answers, to be honest, because you have the answers for you. And whatever thought patterns you created, whatever habits you created within yourself, just by becoming aware of that to begin with, that's the first step. And in some ways, it's the only step, because when we become aware of something, it starts to crumble. When, all the habits, all the thought patterns that are negative, um, in my experience, they are all unconscious to some degree or another. So when we start to become conscious of that we're doing something automatically without thinking, or rather without being conscious of them, without making the deliberate decision to do that, when we become conscious of that habit, it starts to crumble, because we kind of start to trace back the steps to the beginning, to what made us make that decision to create this habit. Let's say that we start drinking alcohol, or we start taking drugs, or we start smoking cigarettes, for example. The first time we did that, there was an emotion that led us to that behavior. And we might have forgotten all about that emotion, because we have been kind of hiding that behind the use of drugs, let's say. So when we start to become aware that, oh, there's a feeling under here, or there is a bad habit, and we start to see that, then we're also tracing that back to the initial emotional event that created the whole thing. So I would say that every time that you notice that you have these irrational thought patterns, the noticing itself is one of the greatest practices that you can do. That's why Ramana Maharshi, for example, he was talking about I am, focusing or meditating on the sense of I am, that you are, because then you're tracing back yourself, tracing back to the origin of the illusion of being a separate self. So with this same thing with other thinking patterns, let's say that you are thinking bad thoughts about yourself all the time, or you're so stupid, for example. Every time you see it, you get a little bit closer to seeing why that pattern, why that thought was created in the first place. Now, this might take a little bit of time because, if you've been thinking the same thought for 10 years and you're just now becoming aware of it, then it can take a little bit of time to really get back to the source of that and until that dissolves. But this practice of doing that, of becoming aware of something that we label as negative or irrational, or in some ways tie suffering to, simultaneously as we practice becoming aware, or rather as we let ourselves become aware of that, we are also developing incredible patience and incredible trust as well. And this is what then will help us to open the heart and start to truly feel again. So if you feel that you're hurting yourself by thinking, then focus on feeling this hurt. Focus on feeling hurt, because this might very well be that the initial emotion that led to that irrational thought pattern, or that habit of thinking negative thoughts about yourself or someone else, it might very well be that this emotion is reappearing. And as soon as you see that, as soon as that starts happening, it's a wonderful blessing to be invited to feel this feeling again. Even though it might feel contradictory in some sense to feel this feeling that you don't want to feel. But that is the doorway to freedom. The suffering, the pain is the doorway to freedom, at least one of them. So if you can trust in yourself that you will survive, or that it will not be as bad as you may think, to feel this hurting, then I invite you to really feel that. So in times when these thought patterns appear in your mind and you start thinking, and then all of a sudden, oh, damn it, you realize I'm thinking this again. You can put your hands on your heart. You can sit down where you are in a quiet space where you're alone, and you can just be with yourself. You don't have to think about what others would say if they see you doing this, for example. Just sit, put your hands on your heart, relax as best as you can. You can begin by breathing and just feel it, following your breath into your heart. Feel how the lungs are expanding. Feel how the pressure is making, how the pressure of your hands are feeling against your skin or against the heart area. Try to find a way where you can feel the subtle vibrations of the heart, where you can feel the heart. And let's say in this example that we're talking about, the emotional heart or the spiritual heart, maybe just the heart, or this feeling, the feelingness or the beingness, which is usually, at least in the beginning, felt around here somewhere. Then relax into, this is a little bit difficult to explain, but relax into feeling this hurting. Relax into feeling the discomfort. And the mind will want to do the complete opposite of this. But what we're trying to do is come back into the heart in this moment and really feel the feeling that perhaps created, as I said, created this thought pattern in the first place. I will try to I'll try to round this up so that we can do the second healing again. It's just the most beneficial practice that have and is completely transforming my life is to have opened the heart, focused on learning how to feel again, learning how to feel everything, regardless of what the mind wants to discriminate as good as bad. Learn how to feel everything and let discrimination go. And I've seen such amazing transformation within myself with negative thinking, irrational thought patterns, and a very erratic mind that has been bouncing around in every direction. Learning how to feel again, especially for the last 2.5 years, have transformed me. So just focus on feeling. Focus on feeling. Focus on the feeling that is existing underneath all of these thoughts that you're having. If it takes a little bit of time, then let it be that way. But just come back to feeling. Okay, I hope that was of some help. Sometimes I get a little bit. I kind of tangle myself up in explanations because there are so many ways, there's so many nuances or levels that you can discuss these topics or answer these questions from. And I'm still, um, I'm also, I still have a lot of patterns, a lot of habits and ways of thinking and being that are kind of a little bit confusing sometimes. So I apologize if I make it, answer your questions and perhaps may make you more confused. But that's one thing before we start the next healing, and I promise this is the last one. Trust yourself. Trust the answer. How my answers or what I'm talking about, how that is reflected in you. Okay, so trust yourself. Trust yourself. Okay, that was a long one. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you for recognizing that, Gina, if I can call you that. Thank you for your question. Very interesting. And namaste, Cece. Now we will get ready to do another about 10-minute healing with focus on the heart, what we've just been speaking about. Um, Healing, opening the heart, reawakening the heart, awakening the heart, healing trauma, sorrow, sadness, learning or relearning trust in ourselves, in our life, in our own path and journey towards realizing our true selves or the self. Again, I invite you to use your own music during this healing. So you can choose a song that does not distract you, but something that helps to perhaps tune out the noise if you're in the city, for example, or something that helps to keep you centered a little bit. Or in some cases, I have songs that really make me very emotional. And these can also be, especially when we're working on the heart, in my experience, they can really help you to open the heart a little bit. So if you have something that's not too fast and too intrusive or distracting, then use that. I will do a yeah, okay. I will turn off my microphone now. So what I want you to do is begin by just putting your hands on your heart. You can follow your breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Do that a couple of times until you feel that you're settling into the body again. You can follow the breath all the way down into the heart and feel how the heart Imagine or feel that the heart is expanding every time you breathe in. And every time you breathe out, you let a little bit of pressure out, a little bit of darkness, a little bit of tension. And as you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, allow yourself to start feeling. Feel what you're feeling right now. Just feel anything that you're feeling. If it's love, if it's contentment, if it's joy, if it's fear, if it's confusion, if it's anger, if it's seemingly nothing, just feel whatever is in your experience right now. Keep breathing slowly, find your own pace of breathing, and just follow the breath. Do not try to control it. And then feel in your heart that you're opening yourself up to receive another wave of healing Reiki energy. Open yourself up. Give all your problems away to the universe, to God, to the Reiki energy. Just let them be there. Ask for help to heal whatever issues you are facing. And then just let go and surrender to your experience. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you for joining here today. Thank you for engaging, writing in the chat. Thank you for being brave and opening up to receive, to heal. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to be a human being, especially now. And you're doing a great job. I want to wish you all a beautiful Sunday, a beautiful ending of this week, and a beautiful start of next week. Yeah. Remember that you can always, if you have any questions, you can always write them in the comment section below my videos. You are also welcome to join Your Healing Journey. It's a group I made on Facebook. There is not many discussions as of now, but over time as it grows, I want to uh, open up so that we can share our own experiences, our own journey, challenges and successes in a safe environment where we support each other. So if you want to join that group, then you can look I believe that the link is in the description to this video. And there you can also, of course, message me from that group if you have any private things that you would like to discuss. I'm also open to private healing sessions if you want that. Then you can also you can go onto my Facebook page or the Facebook group. It really doesn't matter, and contact me through Facebook if you would be interested in that. Yeah, as I said, wishing you a wonderful, wonderful day. Hope to see you again next week. Sending you lots of blessings, infinite love. Namaste. Thank you.